Hello and welcome to the 1 p.m. class dedicated to the newspaper and magazine review. Every day we look at a magazine article or a newspaper article with vocabulary from advanced and proficiency level English. Today's article is about visiting Limerick. So it's from the website Discover Ireland, which is a very good organisation about promoting visiting Ireland. And today is just a very basic article about 11 things to experience in Limerick. It was my choice, and in fact, last summer I spent 1 month in Limerick, and it's a fantastic place to visit. Really nice and a very, very interesting place to spend time. So, today we'll discuss this topic. On the left, you can see I have the article here ready, and in the middle, I have some notes prepared for the lesson. And first, I will read for some pronunciation, and after the pronunciation, I will stop and try to explain some vocabulary and some expressions that are key from this article. I don't expect the lesson to be very long. I expect possibly a very short lesson just to maintain the schedule and to maintain the timetable I have advertised on my Facebook page. Next week, I am contemplating a different schedule. I will update you with more information at the weekend, but possibly next week, every day, maybe 3 lessons in the morning and less in the afternoon. So I will probably change my schedule next week a little. Great. If you have a question, please put your question in the Facebook chat. I can answer any question that you have here in the chat. So please put a comment here and I will start. I will say hello, everybody. And you're very welcome to leave a comment as well during the lesson. And I can see the comment here in the Facebook chat. Okay, so let's begin. Hopefully the connection is okay. And I start with reading. So 11 excellent things to experience in Limerick. So this is the picture of the castle, and it's the powerful King John's Castle looking out. So we've two prepositions here, looking out over Limerick City. So that's a bit difficult because we have two prepositions, and the phrasal verb to look out means to be careful. So if you look out, that means to be conscious, to be aware, and to be careful. But here it's literal, it's looking out. The castle is physically looking, positioned, looking out over the city. Okay, let's begin. Limerick's important role in Irish history is evident in its medieval city streets, Norman strongholds, and ancient Irish monuments, but it's the people that are the real legacy of the treaty county. Enjoy a friendly welcome from the Limerick locals as you discover the county's many charms. Okay, so here we have a couple. I'm going to sneeze. Oh my gosh, excuse me. So here we have a couple of interesting expressions from the first paragraph already. So first you can see the role, and we have a few expressions. We can say a role model. You are a role model. This means people imitate your behavior, they copy your behavior, and you are the standard, you are the example, you are a role model. To play a role is very important as well. This means you play a very important part in something or somebody's life. You play an important role in this person's life. Okay, there is a different verb completely to roll, and that's this movement. And we can say to roll with it, and this means to go with the flow. Okay, so to roll with it. And we have a few other expressions as well with the verb to roll, but the pronunciation is the same. Role model and the verb to roll, but they have different meanings. Next, we see the adjective evident. So the difference between the adjective and the noun. So the adjective is evident and the noun is evidence. Okay, so the difference between the ENT and the ENCE. So let me just write that here. So evident is the adjective and evidence is the noun. So it's important always we are conscious of the little detail and difference between the word families. Okay, next we see a very important word here, a strong hold. The verb is to hold, and it's very typical in defense and the military. A strong hold is a place of defense and protection. So your house is your stronghold, it's your defense, it's your place where you are comfortable, it's your stronghold. And in this situation in Limerick, there is a Norman castle, or there's Norman construction and building that was intended for defense. So it's a stronghold. Interestingly, with addiction, you can also use the word stronghold. For example, coffee has a strong hold on me. So coffee has a strong control over me. So that's the second significance. If something has a strong hold on you, it has control and a lot of power over you. But in this case, it's a noun in relation to a castle or a defensive monument for protection. And everything in the rest of that paragraph is okay. The charms is interesting as well because it's an adjective, a charming person. Think Prince Charming. The person is very charming, very friendly, very happy, very positive. But the noun is also possible, a charm, and it's typical, a lucky charm. So this object is a lucky charm for you. It's something you like to bring with you all the time because the object brings you fortune and luck. It's your lucky charm. So it is a little flexible in English. Okay, so let's begin with number 1, St. John's Castle. And I will read this again just for pronunciation a little. Named after the villainous king from Robin Hood, King John's Castle is a 13th century stronghold on King's Island in the heart of medieval Limerick. One of the best preserved Norman castles in Europe, its recent state-of-the-art upgrade introduced interactive activities and exhibitions, CGI animations and projections that really bring its story to life. It's an immersive experience that captures the castle's place in Limerick history, culture, and everyday life. So the first expression is named after, and this is very typical for children. The boy is named after the father. So the boy has the same name of the father. He was named after the father or the grandfather. A dog is possibly also named after somebody or something. So this dog, his name is Shrek, and the dog is named after the character from the movie. Okay, so named after is very important combination. A villain is an enemy, somebody, a bad person is a villain, typically in the movies. But here we have the adjective, and it's not common, villainous. I rarely see this word, but obviously it's connected to a villain, and a villain is a bad character, like an enemy in the movies. He or she is a villain. But in this case, it's an adjective for the king, the villainous king, the bad king from Robin Hood is the television or movie program. Movie, I think, Robin Hood. Again, stronghold is the castle, defense, protection. In the heart of, this is a good combination. So the cafe is in the heart of the city centre. The shopping centre is in the heart of the countryside. So in the heart of is a very nice English combination. Here we have two words combined to create one word, and the adjective is preserved and best preserved. So the castle is the best in the best condition ever. There is no other castle more preserved than this castle. State of the art is very important vocabulary, and it's very famous. So state of the art means most modern. You can have a state of the art cinema, and this means the most modern, most up to date, the latest, the state of the art technology. State of the art cinema, it means the best available, the most modern technology. Also, we have a very important expression, cutting edge. Cutting edge technology means the best technology, the latest technology, the most important technology. So let me write a couple of these expressions here. As I said, we say cutting edge technology, and this means the best technology you have available, the latest, modern, and state of the art is very important as well. Okay. Bring the story to life is another good, comfortable combination. You bring something to life, you give life to this, you bring it to life, you create something to be colorful and full of life. So to bring something to life is a good combination in English. Again, a different combination here, to capture your place. It just basically is good English, meaning that it highlights and identifies the importance of the castle in the history of Limerick. Okay, good. So that's a simple paragraph, not too difficult. And let's continue with the next section. Okay, number 2, Thomond Park. This is the name of the stadium in Limerick. There's nothing like experiencing the Munster roar in Thomond Park and seeing the unique synergy between the Munster rugby team and the fans at a live game. Go one better with a behind-the-scenes Thomond Park tour and access places normally reserved for players and coaches. You can also relive Munster's finest moments in the interactive Thomond Park Museum, from beating the All Blacks in 1978 to the miracle match in the 2003 Heineken Cup. Again, very clear, nothing too difficult, but the story maybe is interesting, and let's check a couple of the key expressions here. The first very comfortable expression is there is nothing like. We use this a lot. There's nothing like an ice cream after dinner. There's nothing like hot weather in the summer. There's nothing like, it means you cannot beat this situation. This situation is the best. There's nothing like, you cannot beat. It's the best thing. And here the key word is the verb to roar. To roar is the verb we use for an animal such as a lion or a tiger. If the lion roars, it's almost shouting and using a high voice. So it's strong and it's connected to the lion, and therefore Munster roar is the noise the crowd makes at the stadium, because the name of the team is also Munster in the rugby game. Okay, so the verb to roar is important. In fact, we have other expressions in English. We can say the roaring 80s, the roaring 90s. That means the decade was full of economic boom, economic success as well. So it is an interesting word, and it is originally associated with the animals, the roar of the tiger, the roar of the lion as well. Synergy is similar to connection, and you can see it's connected to energy. So there's an electricity, there's an energy between the team and the fans, a synergy, a connection, a very strong, passionate connection, a synergy. So it's really good vocabulary there. Next, we have another very, very important and fluent expression, to go one better. And this is very important. For example, your friend wins a competition and you go one better and you win a more important competition. So for example, your friend buys a car, you go one better and you buy 2 cars. So you do something better than the previous state. And here you can visit a match or even better, you can go to the stadium and do the tour. So that means to go one better, to do the next step. So that's a really comfortable, fluent expression in English. Relive, just the pronunciation, to relive your memory, to relive your best moments, to live again the most important moments as well. So nothing too difficult there as well. Okay, so I think that's okay. That's part 2. And let's look at part 3. Questions. If you have any question, you can put your question in the comment, and let me see if we have any comments here at the moment. No, nothing at the moment, so that's no problem. As I said, probably a short lesson today, so we'll do a couple more and try to find the most important vocabulary. The Hunt Museum. In the heart of Limerick, on the banks of the Shannon, the Hunt Museum's eclectic collections reflect the diverse interests of its founders, John and Gertrude Hunt. You'll be treated to artifacts from ancient Greece and Rome, art by modern masters like Jack W. Yeats, Pablo Picasso, and Henry Moore, and important Irish relics from Neolithic tools to the famous Antrim cross. Afterwards, visit the restaurant and enjoy fantastic views of the river to complement some good food. Again, not too difficult. And now I will just focus on the key vocabulary from the paragraph. So again, in the heart of, in the middle of, in the center. The banks is what we say for the river. You have the river and you have the river banks. They are the side parts of the river. And of course, a bank is a financial institution as well, possibly connected, because at the side of the river, at the bank, it's the area that accumulates the minerals and accumulates the good earth on the banks. So maybe to bank your money is to deposit your money. It might be connected. Eclectic is very similar to variety, and maybe eccentric, or a wide variety or a wide range collection. Okay, so you have lots of different tastes, different parts of the collection. Eclectic, very, very different parts. And nothing too difficult here. A relic is something that is very, very old, and you can be a little insulting and maybe say a person is a relic if you want to insult that person and say the person is very, very old, or anything you want. You can have fun and joke with that word as well to represent something that is very old as well. And that's it. So nothing too difficult here. And that's the picture of the museum. Next, St. Mary's Cathedral. And again, I will read very quickly just to try and identify any important vocabulary here. Founded in 1168 on the site of a palace donated by the King of Munster, Donald More O'Brien, St. Mary's Cathedral is part of the fabric of Limerick life. Tradition says that the west door was once part of that ancient palace, and this gorgeous building is full of stunning architectural features. Free lunchtime and evening performances are enhanced by the unique charms of the extraordinary venue. So at the end, again, a charm is something wonderful, something delightful, something amazing. It's a charm. As I said, a lucky charm is something that brings you luck. And in this venue, you have some charm to this venue, which means some amazing, special, unique features. Okay, and it's quite good vocabulary as well. Stunning is important. Adjective, stunning picture, stunning painting, stunning performance, stunning result. A person can look stunning, and this means the person looks amazing and wonderful. The verb is to stun, and it really means to surprise or to shock. So I am stunned, I am surprised, I am shocked as well. Gorgeous is another very important adjective, typical for maybe nature, things that are beautiful, and a person might be described as gorgeous in the sense of beauty. A building, we of course understand that a building is spectacular, it's amazing, it's beautiful, but gorgeous, people suggest in Ireland, we use this word maybe too much in Ireland if something is gorgeous, but really it means pretty and beautiful, of course. and that's it. So again, part of the fabric is a good expression as well. The fabric is the material that makes the clothes and makes the object as well. So if you're part of the fabric, you're part of the clothes of a family, part of the fabric of a company or of a business as well. You're like part of the furniture is another expression that you are a principal part of that organization. Okay, we continue a little with the Treaty City Brewery. So the Limerick is known as the Treaty City because a very famous agreement and treaty was signed in the city, I think maybe in the 17th century, if I'm not wrong. So the treaty is the agreement. So Limerick is known as the Treaty City. Remember, a brewery is very important. The verb is to brew, and the verb to brew means to make the drink, typically alcohol, beer. You make beer with a long process. You need to brew. And we also use the verb to brew in relation to tea, because you need a tea bag and water, and you need to permit the tea to brew, to make the flavor and to grow as well. So a brewery is the place that you make the beer typically. And we have a famous expression, very slang. We could say you couldn't organize, and this is very slang, but it's very well known, particularly in Ireland. So the noun here is a piss up, and this is slang, but it's important to know. Basically, it means a big party where everybody is drinking a lot of alcohol and people are maybe intoxicated. That is known as a piss up. Very slang, very informal. So the joke is you have bad organization skills. You have very bad organization skills. In fact, you could not organize an alcoholic party in the place where they make alcohol. So that's the joke really, but it's very well known, I think. So let's continue with the paragraph here. Craft beer fans love Treaty City Brewery on Nicholas Street, where you can learn about Limerick's rich brewing tradition and sample their range of themed beers. This microbrewery is where new beers are developed using local ingredients. It's a real taste of Limerick, from the beer right down to the local artifacts in the previously derelict buildings that now house the artisan brewery. Interesting. So let's check here. Craft beer is very unique, independent companies that make the beer. Okay, that's known as a craft beer company. However, the verb to craft means almost to make. And you can have a crafty person, which is a little negative. It means the person is very is planning and planning and planning, maybe to have the benefits of the situation for themselves. A very crafty person, very cunning person, and we might say cute as a fox. So very intelligent person, but probably trying to gain the advantage for themselves. So that's possible to say a crafty person. I think this morning we had another word to describe this. It just has slipped my mind at the moment. Okay, the verb here is to sample, because normally you have a sample. Now I'm going to sneeze again. No, so a sample is a piece of something to represent the big part. So you are interested in buying the car, but you want to sample the car. You want to test drive the car. So it is a verb. The point here is it's a very important verb, to sample the atmosphere, to sample the place, to sample the food, to test or to try the food or something as well. And that's it. So the most difficult expression here is right down to. So let's read this sentence. It's a real taste of Limerick, from the beer right down to the local artifacts. So it means everything represents Limerick. Okay, so every part of the process represents Limerick. Starting at the top, you have the beer, but you have a lot of important factors to make the beer, and every factor represents Limerick. So down to, which means the last, least important ingredient, also represents Limerick. So that's the significance down to. And right down to means completely down to. Okay, so it's a bit flexible because in other situations we can say it's down to you, and that means that people are depending on you. If something is down to you, it's your decision, and people are depending on you as well. So it is important, but in this case on the text it's a little bit different, so just be a little bit careful with that. And finally, in English there is a verb to house. Of course, the most well known is the noun a house, but it is possible a verb to house, and it means to accommodate. So if you're housing 10 people, you are accommodating 10 people in your home or in a hotel or something like that as well. Okay, so let's just read maybe one more and we can finish maybe pretty soon because it's just a very short lesson to maintain the routine a little, and the vocabulary is not too difficult, I don't think. So let's continue with number 6, the milk market. Ireland's oldest weekly market, the milk market, is an enduring Limerick institution where you can pick up the best artisan food or fresh family essentials each weekend. You'll see traditional fare like crubbines alongside fresh seafood and homemade sauces as you soak up the buzz and chatter you'd expect from a working market. Okay, enduring basically means it has survived and survived. It continues and continues and continues to survive. It's enduring. Okay, the noun is endurance, and it's important. It's a very important word. So the institution is surviving and could for a long, long time. It passes the test of time. And here we have the phrasal verb to pick up, which means to collect or to buy. If you pick up your items at the shop, you collect your items at the shop, and in this situation you're collecting the best food. The key word here is artisan food, and this means very specially designed with a lot of care, very unique food, artisan food, independent companies who make the food maybe with their hands as well. Okay, this is a difficult word, traditional fare. In this case, fare means products like food or produce. So fare in this case means food. The second significance of fare is money. You need to pay the taxi fare. You need to pay the taxi fee. So it is a very, very important word. And also we say, how are you faring? And this means, how are you doing? For example, fare well. That really means to do or to go well in your trip or in your travel, fare well. So it's an important old English word. And in this case, it represents produce and food. A crubbing, I don't know. I think it's a type of food, perhaps. Alongside basically has the significance with. Here we have the verb to soak up, which means to absorb. If you soak up the sun, you absorb the sun. If you soak up the pressure, you absorb the pressure. And in this situation, you're soaking up or absorbing the buzz, and the buzz is the atmosphere. So for example, there is a great buzz in the city centre. This means there is a great atmosphere in the city centre. It's possible to buzz a friend, and this means to contact or to telephone your friend. So it's very, very flexible, but in this case, the buzz is the atmosphere of the city. Finally, chatter is important as well. It's related to the verb to chat, but chatter is a lot of noise, a lot of conversation. That's a lot of chatter. People speaking, a lot of chatter. Okay, great. That's sufficient, I think, for today. Of course, I recommend that you continue reading this article to learn about the 5 more things exciting to do in Limerick. We just reached part 6, but there are more different parts to visit Limerick if you want. It's an interesting place. I recommend visiting Limerick, especially from Dublin. It's very easy to access. You can arrive to Limerick in maybe 2 hours, I think, from Dublin, and it's very accessible by bus as well as car and everything. Great. So I hope you enjoy all my lessons. I hope you enjoy a little every day. Tomorrow we continue with the grammar in the morning. Normally at 3 o'clock today, I have another lesson dedicated to speaking. I'm not sure yet if I will continue with that lesson. As I said, next week the schedule and the timetable will be a little different. Instagram, I plan to maintain and update my Instagram account with more material, specifically on the reels, and that is everything. So if you have any questions, you can put your comment here. I don't see anything at the moment, and that is fine. So I think it's a good opportunity maybe to finish. As I said, everything is free, and here I want to show you a couple of things. If you want to support me, you can make a subscription or a donation if you want to support me with PayPal or your bank account as well. I'm looking for companies, I'm looking for businesses and charities to support and to sponsor me in the next while. So that will be my activity, to look for businesses and companies and charities perhaps to be able to support me to give the free lessons, and they can use my material whatever way they want, more or less. And that's it. So I hope that you have a good afternoon. If you have a friend who wants to learn with these lessons, please put them in contact and hopefully they can join the lessons as well. If you have a question and you want to contact by WhatsApp, you can obviously contact me here on WhatsApp, and that's another way to contact and to ask any questions if you have a doubt. Great. So I think that's everything for today. Again, have a very good Friday, have a good weekend, and thank you for watching, and hopefully I will see you very, very soon. Thank you, and bye-bye.